Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to replace the exhaust camshaft position sensor on a BMW E46 with an M52 TU or an M54 engine. The most common fault that you're going to get is P0369 camshaft position sensor B. B indicating that it's the exhaust side as opposed to A, which would be the inlet side. When you have a problem with this sensor, most often you're going to see a check engine light, so when it's scanned you'll get that P code. And also this can cause a stalling situation, and sometimes you don't even get a P code, and it can be caused from both the intake and exhaust camshaft position sensors. The sensor was provided by carparts.com. Just great parts, cheap, and they really do have a really good selection of parts. So it came in this envelope, so it was protected, and it comes in this box. It says cam sensor, REPB311602. And if we take a look, it comes wrapped up, and that's it right there. Let's take a look. It comes with a new gasket, new O-ring. And yep, mine's a 3-pin, and it's going to be the larger style. So that's the correct sensor for this vehicle. This is a really simple install for the exhaust side on an M52 TU or an M54. It's just a few tools that you're going to need. Let me just go over this real quick. I like to use a pair of dikes for the clips. You will need a T25 bit, and most importantly is a 5mm Allen. And just the right angle works perfect for this because you can get right in there nice and easy. You can use a pry tool for the clip or a pick, and I'll show you, but I like to use a dike. So realistically you only need these 3 tools right here to get this job done. If you've been watching my videos, you probably know I like to go pretty thorough from start to finish, and I'm just going to show you now. On an E46 you have to remove this little air intake. It can help to, I'm going to remove the fan so that we have some more room so you can see better. You can actually get in here to the exhaust sensor. Let me show you where that is. The exhaust position cam sensor is located right over here on the passenger side of the engine. Obviously your exhaust is on this side, and that is the sensor right here. So realistically we could unplug it, and actually I can get to the 5mm Allen screw right here on the bottom. A lot of times it gets filled with dirt, so you're going to want to get a pick and scrape out any dirt that's in that 5mm Allen, so that you can get a nice solid bite when you take it off, because it can be kind of tight sometimes when you actually try to loosen it up. You don't want to strip it because it would make it very difficult to get it off at that point. For ease of access though, I'm going to take off the snorkel and the electric fan. Now on E46 you have 4 clips. I only have 1 installed right here, and you can use a pick and you can try to work this free and lift up the plastic rivet. You can use a pry tool and try to get in there and lift it up. This is a Mako one, which doesn't even grab it that well. I like to use a pair of dikes, and it just makes things really simple. And most people have a pair of dikes just lying around, and you just grab them gently and lift, and it pulls up that plastic rivet nice and easy so that we can get this cover off. This comes off nice and easy, just goes to the intake filter. Just pop that off, put it aside. Now my vehicle is a manual transmission, so I have an electric fan here in the front. On some vehicles you're going to have a fan clutch, so if you do want to take the shroud out with the fan clutch, check out one of my other videos for removing the fan, and that'll help you quite a bit. I have a lot of tips and tricks. So we have a clip here. It's also going to be the same thing on the other fan shroud if you have a automatic transmission. And then we have a T25 here that we need to remove, and this fan is going to come straight out. Same thing for this clip. Using a pair of dikes, I can just grab the top of the plastic rivet and slide it out. And that took that piece off. and you can get the other side of the plastic rivet out nice and easy. Now on the opposite side, you have a T25. This one's already hand tight, so I'm just going to use my T25 and loosen this up. This is a long screw, so you can remember that that goes there. I'm going to unplug my electric fan, and I'm going to pull this fan completely out. Very simple. Once those are out, this is going to lift straight out and give me tons of access to show you this repair a little bit clearer. Alright, this is the exhaust camshaft sensor. It just is held on by two plastic tabs on the side. So these are press tabs. You're going to press each side at the same time. Two hands always helps, but let's see, there we go, I got it. And slide the connector off. This is a 3-pin connector, power grounded signal. I mean, you could check power grounded signal if you'd like, but most of the time if you have a fault for the sensor, it's probably the sensor itself. Also check for oil in the pins. A lot of times when this sensor is failing, oil will leak through the pins of the sensor, and it can actually wick up through the wiring all the way to the engine computer. Alright, so now it's time for the 5mm Allen. If you just feel underneath the sensor, you're going to find a circle screw, and that's actually with a 5mm Allen head. So this is actually perfect for this. You do have to kind of find it. Okay, so that's it. It fits perfectly with that 90°, and just have to loosen it up. And then this has a ball socket on the end, and I can go ahead and just unscrew it. It gives me a little bit of an angle. And I'm going to unscrew this all the way. The hardest part is lining this up because you can't see it. Okay, there's my screw. There's the circle head with the 5mm Allen. I'm going to pull the sensor out and do a side-by-side comparison from the one that I got from carparts.com. And I've been on their website, and they really do have a great selection of parts, and the prices are absolutely amazing. If you take a look at the two sensors side by side, they're identical. And the new one does come with its own O-ring. So this one here on my old sensor, the O-ring's actually damaged right here. So just take a little bit of oil and lightly apply it to the gasket for when we reinstall. So you can find the spot, line it up, and slide in the new part. Yep, it fit perfectly. I like to leave the O-ring on the sensor when I slide it in. You can feel that it's fully seated, and then you can wiggle it back and forth. So it should move. And now the hard part is lining up the bottom here with the hole that's in the engine so that we can install our hold down screw. So I have my hold down screw on my 90° Allen 5mm. I'm gonna find the spot where it rests. I can feel it's up against the metal, and if I just move the sensor slightly downwards, I can kind of feel where it catches, and I can gently turn and see, and then I can give the screw a tug and it's in. So that's really the hardest part. Don't force it in. It should go in nice and easy. You don't want to strip this out. It's just in a bad spot. I mean, you could probably get a tap in here. You don't want to strip out the crank sensor one. Geez, it's the same setup for the crank sensor, and same thing, they can get corroded, get some dirt in that 5mm Allen head screw. So you definitely want to clean it first, and just gently snug this down. This is a small screw and it's not really holding any pressure. So that's it, snug that down, and we can reverse installation. Let's plug in. Okay, that's all set. It's a perfect fit. Yep, give it a tug, make sure everything's nice and solid. Gonna drop the fan in. You can see right here and right here are two plastic pieces with openings. That's where the fan slides right into. Same thing with the shroud. And there's another one over here. You're gonna slide it straight down and it should lock into those positions. All right, there's the three locations. One here, and one on the opposite side. Keep it close to the radiator. Okay, check on the bottom if you want, make sure it's seated all the way. This one feels great. Don't forget to plug in the electric fan if equipped. We're going to put our screw in our clip. This was a 25. Alright, you can tighten that down. I'm only going to snug it because I'm sure I'll be taking this off again at some point. And then the small plastic rivet, which goes right here. Push that in. And then we have the snorkel. And install your other plastic rivets that hold the snorkel in place. Thanks for watching. I hope that you found this helpful. Remember to check out carparts.com. We really do have a great selection, like I said, and I'm going to be replacing some headlights from carparts.com and replacing these disgusting headlights that I have. Let me show you. Instead of doing a refinish, the headlights were very reasonable, and they come as a set, and they even come with this this piece right here on the bottom trim, because on this one that does come out. They would have to be painted, or you can reuse the ones that you have, but you know, instead of just doing a refinish of this, I thought let's try some new headlights, and they're nice and clear. So that's going to be a video soon to come, replacing the headlights on an E46. Please remember to subscribe, and thanks for watching.